think they copied that they are self-sufficient in terms of food security. So we really want to leverage on their techniques on how they deal with issues of ensuring that at the household level there's enough food for the family. We then take this forward to the entire block so that the region called Lake Region Economic Block has sufficient food. And the reason I said yesterday, I will be very brief on that, is that all the counties that drain their rivers into the lake are the reason why we have Lake Region Economic Block. We have Nandi, and of course we have Trans Nzoia. And Excellency Chair, I did give a challenge which Governor Otuoma echoed, that you need to reach out to your colleague in Narok, because River Mara and the Mau is actually part of our block and Lake Victoria. So really, they can do it the way Nandi is doing, and other places. They can be in both, but we need them because when pollution happens upstream, it affects the lake downstream, and we are all affected. So we need to bring them on board so that when we talk to our partners, we are dealing with the source and at the end game, which is the lake. So I really don't want to say much today. I want to thank all of you and appreciate the fact that we have taken this very serious. I want to thank all the governors because we know you have very limited time, because everybody wants a piece of you every time, every hour. So when you decide to come and give us your time, we appreciate it and we honor you. I want to thank the First Ladies, led by Emily Nyaribo, that you are able to mobilize your colleagues to come here and participate and share with us what you are doing. And I told some another meeting, I don't know where it was, but our first spouses are champions on their own accord. They run with their programs, and they are our influencers in the block, in the secretariat. We depend on them because when we talk to them, we know whom we have spoken to. I don't know whether you heard that. When we talk to our first spouses, we know we have spoken, and we have spoken very loudly. So we take them very preciously, and we thank you, Mama Emily, for having led this organization together with your Vice Chair, Dr. is seated next to you there from Bomet. We thank you so much for the leadership you have provided for the first spouses. No, we are going to have much more from our chair, who will expound on deliverables that has happened in between now and the last summit. We were challenged by the Vice Chair, Governor Lusaka. What have we achieved from the last summit? Is it a talk show? Do we just come here to parade ourselves and feel nice and enjoy ourselves and give good speeches? What are the outcomes? Because millions are spent to bring people here. So what are the benefits after spending those millions? What do we count on at the end of 1 year, 6 months, 3 months that we meet? These are the milestones we have gained. I have numerous, of course, but I'm not at this point in time going to do that because it's not my period to do any speech to justify what we have done in the last 6 months, in the last 1 year. Our able chair will elaborate that very clearly. I want to take this opportunity once again to thank all of you and our partners. I know we have so many here. I don't wish to mention all of them, but of course a few that have done quite a bit in this block. I did mention yesterday, we have USAID, we have GIZ, we have KMET, who just recently supported our program in Mombasa. Actually, they had wanted to take our governors to the US, but our chair advised correctly that at that point in time, it wasn't politically viable and correct. It would have looked a bit unpolitical. So we had our governors in Mombasa, courtesy of KMET, through an organization in the United States. And of course, we have USAID, like I said, in water, that Excellency Barcho will speak to. And I want to thank all of you again and say that this evening we still have another session that Governor Paulo Tuoma will expound. I want to thank you. I don't want to say much. Of course, we have Kenya Shipyard, we have ABSA, we have Chamber of Commerce, KMET, KISNET, World Vision, IPSA, Kenya, USAID, Mumbai Technical, ECD Technology. Thank you very much. And all of you have been wonderful partners in LREP. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Vice Chair. Thank you, governors. And thank you, the entire people who have graced this occasion. And welcome. Thank you. I want to take this opportunity at this point in time to call Excellency Deputy Governor, who has worked very ably as co-chair. And I want to take this opportunity, Excellency Otuoma, that you gave me a wonderful team led by this gentleman. Your CCs were wonderful, cooperative, decisive, and very nice. So I want to ask the vice chair, but no, the deputy governor. I told the Governor Lusaka, said, be very careful about vice.
Governor Lusaka, thanks for your advice. I will be careful. Your Excellency, governors, first spouses, Excellency Deputy Governors, all protocol as established. Thank you very much for being here with us, and thank you for making this summit in this county what it is today. A little pieces of information. In case there's a medical emergency, we have Red Cross available to attend, and we also have the Busia health team available should they be needed. Secondly, Your Excellency Chairman, this evening, between 6 and 7, we will be live on Citizen TV on a program called Kenya Gold. Citizen will be airing us live. You will be advised the locations, and we would love it very much if you will all attend, including our first spouses. Several deputy governors have called me and advised me that they are on their way. I don't know if any has arrived. We would like to recognize them here. Deputy governors, please. Seemingly none has arrived. Oh yes, of course. The Deputy Governor for Nyamira County, thank you. Thank you very much. And because I'm a 1-minute man, meaning that I speak for 1 minute, I want to stop there and take the honor of welcoming my governor, Her Excellency Daktari Paulo Tuoma. Please come and speak.
Okay, thank you, my deputy, the deputy governor of Busia County, and those who have spoken. Chair, let me again ride on all protocols already established, recognizing our chair, Professor Nyamnyo, and your deputy in the LREP region, our brother Lusaka, our colleagues who are here, and the first spouses, of course led by Madam Emily Nyaribo. I'll take this opportunity to give our colleagues, because today we are not really full house, but almost full house, maybe just to make some welcoming remarks. And after that, then I will invite the Vice Chair to invite the Chair to take over the program. So I will just call you randomly, so long as my eyes catch up. Let me start. Oh, Reginaldo Okuma, I recognize you. From National Lands Commission, a commissioner from National Lands Commission, and the son of this place, Karibu, Super Mekuana. Thank you. So let me take this opportunity to welcome our brother from Vihiga, Dr. Tichilo, who is also the chair of climate in the Council of Governor, and I think you are in Baku, so you should maybe utilize just that 1 minute of open. We'll have opportunity to speak further, to tell us what has come out of Baku, Karibu. And I'll just go like that, 1 minute. 1 minute.
Thank you for the opportunity to be able to speak in this very important meeting. As you have heard, my name is Dr. Wilbur Tichilo, the Governor of Vihiga County. I'm also the Chair of the Environment and Climate Change in the Council of Governors. Allow me please to thank my colleague, the Governor of Busia, for arranging this meeting, which so far is doing extremely well. I also want to thank all our colleagues from the Lake Region Economic Bloc for being committed to the principles and goals of our bloc. The 12th summit that we are having is very important for this bloc. And our bloc is one of the most important economic blocs in the country and is the largest economic bloc. Climate change is a major factor in our economic production in this region and in the entire country and globally. And therefore, I thank those who organized this summit community level where climate change has the largest impact. That we should focus on. So in the region, we would like, as we discussed, to focus on community. And we are, as Vihiga, we are committed to this summit. And I believe when we'll have our own summit, we should be able to push on how the economic, so that we are able to finance them using legal procedures and protocols. I think this is one area that we have had a lot of challenge. We are willing to contribute, but because of legal provisions and the Auditor General, we find it a little bit difficult.
Discuss, but him being chair of our climate change and environment, I thought we needed, those remarks you have made are very thematic to the reason why we are here. That's why we allowed him a little bit much more time. And the outcome of COP29 and how it's going to impact on the discussions that we are going to have here. Karibu Siaya, Excellency James Agre Orengo. Remark kidogo, tuchukue tu dakika moja, alafu karibu.
I don't know whether I'll manage a minute. In Busia, you've got to have 1 minute men. In Siaya, we don't. Our Vice Chair, Ken Lusaka, and our host, Efumbuhe, and my colleague governors, and all the participants in this very important summit, 12th summit of the Lake Region Economic block. I do not wish to take a lot of time, but one, this block is very important for many reasons. Big river flowing in the lake joins us together with Busia, that is like, River Zoya. But let me say this, which I thought, having been given this chance now, I'd rather say it now rather than later. I think that making statements after statements, trying to make sure that the counties get their rights under the constitutional arrangement. And we are proud for you making those constant demands. But I'm saying the devolution experiment is failing. Because if you look at the constitutional arrangement of why counties are there and what counties are supposed to do and the resources we get from the exchequer on a yearly basis, without a doubt, if we cannot resolve and determine the rightful share of counties on revenues collected at the national level, we may go back to the failed regional system that we had at the beginning of independence. And I was asking my colleague from Bungoma how much he gets in terms of development. You know, a lot of members of the public, when they hear that counties get money, they look at the global sum. Some counties, so to speak, like Bungoma is getting more than 11 billion. But if you look at the development component of 4 billion, and really analyze from what counties are supposed to do, even in the area of blue economy, we are put in a situation where we cannot deliver in terms of constitutional mandate. And I think this is something that as the Lake Region Economic Bloc and the Council of Governors, we must continue to have that debate. And the recent crisis that we had in Parliament, where initially counties were supposed to get more than 4 billion, and it ended up being 387 billion out of a 3 trillion shilling budget. I think that's a paltry sum if you look at the constitutional responsibilities and mandate in agriculture, health sector, and roads. Just doing one good bridge, if you know the cost of just doing one bridge, it gets into hundreds of millions. So I don't want to be the carrier of bad news, but I think this debate is a political question and a constitutional question. We must continue to fight for the counties. And then when the national government speaks, like when we're in Kisumu, they tend to pass the buck to the counties and say, oh, we have released the money to you, and you should not be complaining. Whereas that is not the factual basis. So as we move ahead as a nation, and particularly this bloc, which has got a lot of potential, the blue economy, mineral resources, we got a host of resources in this region, but without a financial basis and a legal framework, it is going to be extremely difficult. The national government can do PPs, but if as a county, if you try to do public, partnerships, public-private partnerships, the legal framework to try and get through that process, and I tried once, is extremely difficult. And yet it is the alternative. We had Afrexim Bank yesterday in Kisumu. That would be an alternative for counties to follow, but the legal framework is definitely very difficult to unlock. And that is what I wish to say now. Sorry for taking too much time. Asanteni sana watu wa Busia. Shukrani.
Makofi. Asante sana. Let me now take this opportunity to invite my brother from Kakamega just to make those welcoming remarks. Then I think we have just 2 more and we'll be done.
Yeah, Excellency Governors, allow me to ride on the already established protocols in the interest of time. Yeah, my name is FCPA Fernandez Baraza, Governor 037. I also chair the Finance Committee of Council, and in the region, I'm also the one responsible for the pillar of finance. One of our outputs in this summit will be how to mobilize resources to finance our climate resilience initiatives so that we can achieve our food security. And of course, as the way Governor Renga said, our biggest challenge is resource mobilization strategy starting from equitable share. But we have an opportunity as a region to reach out to more partners to support our programs. So I think we'll be looking forward to engaging more development partners and colleagues so that we can finance our activities. Lastly, allow me also to say that as the Chair of Finance, we are looking at efficiency in the Office of the Controller of Budget. We continuously call out that office so that we eliminate the bureaucracies and inefficient that office to facilitate a release of funds. I know most of the counties haven't received their September equitable share and October, despite the fact that the money is CRF. You don't know what at the end of the financial year to be called out for not spending the money, and yet the Office of the Control of Budget is the one that has problems. So I know my colleagues, we are all united to call upon the office to be efficient, to facilitate financing programs in the entire 47 counties. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to very fruitful discussions as we also look at the gains that you have made from the last sugar conference we had in Kakamega. Thank you.
Kofi kwake. Asante sana. I think let me now take this opportunity to invite our brother from Nyamira, His Excellency Nyaribo. Karibu.
This guy helped.
Good morning. I will be extremely brief because of the time. Allow me to read on the protocols established already. I echo what my three colleagues have talked about: climate, the threatening of devolution. I believe it's one reason why we're here. But generally, I'm very happy to be in Busia for the first time. I've not been to Busia before. And I had a chance to cross Uganda. I was told how to greet Sebo Hebo. So, on top of that, I think let's be more serious on these issues, the relationship between national government and the county governments. Particularly, people in ODM should praise, because you are already in government and we are being exterminated and you're seeing it. I think it's better you go the Japan way. There's no other way now. We follow, ask him to intervene. Otherwise, I'm seeing them having not very good intentions. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Now let us call our brother from Bomet, Professor Bachao. Karibu.
Thank you. Our chair, Left Regional Economic Growth, my colleagues, governors, led by our host governor, Twama, first ladies, participants, good afternoon. Afternoon. It's already afternoon, I think so. Greatly honored to be here. The reason why we are here is because we didn't lack what to do in our respective counties. We are here on a very serious business, discussing a very relevant topic of food security. This is very important because It's a critical thing, particularly for human well-being and also for economic development. We come as a bloc to take advantages of the community of our region, but even for our own stability as a country. We will be secure as a country if we can secure our people in terms of food. Early this month, we had a conference and we didn't run away from mentioning the issue of climate change. So probably in the course of our discussion, we will be able to link the resolutions that we made in Kisumu probably to the resolutions that we'll make at the end of this conference. Otherwise, thank you so much. Na salamu mingi from Bomet. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, before I call the Vice Chair to invite the Chair, allow me to call the Chair of the First Spouses of the Lake Region Economic Bloc on behalf of the First Spouses, just also to make some opening remarks. Then I will invite the Vice Chair to invite the Chair so that we can proceed. Karim.
Good afternoon. I will ride on the protocol already established. My name is Emily Nyaribo, the spouse of Governor Amos Nyaribo from Nyamira County and the chair of the First Spouses of the Lake Region Economic Bloc. I'll take a minute to introduce the first spouses in the House. So kindly stand and I will introduce you. This is the First Lady of Kisumu. She will say her name and just one.
Good morning. My name is Dorothy Nyong'o from Kisumu.
Good afternoon. I'm Professor Janet Kasili Barasa, First Lady Kakamega County.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon once again. I'm Saline Barchok, First Lady Bomet County. As first spouses from the Lake Region Economic Bloc, we are here to support our governors and to support the women and children in the counties. And we do that through advocacy. That is the biggest tool we have, our mouth. We have a slogan, Woman, Word of Mouth Advocacy Network. That is what we have used to do things within the county in health, and now today we are here for climate change and food security. While the governors are doing the hardware, we go for the software. I can see big names, food security, but we narrow it down to nutrition, adequate nutrition. Governors will look at hunger, fill our stomachs, but we will narrow it down to what is it that our children are eating so that they are healthy and we don't have stunting. We do all this without budgets, but we are not complaining. Every time we stand here, we will talk about what it is that is plaguing us as the vulnerable communities within our counties. So we are here once more to seek your support as our spouses and as, community members within the counties, that we will support this region to be better than we found it. So thank you very much. We hope to engage later in the afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you. Makofi. But maybe before she sits, I know that you are hosting us for dinner, And one of the major themes that is going to be discussed during that time is what you have just said, the issues about nutrition. And it will be a very interesting topic. I think as Nyagaya had told you here, most of us had the opportunity to engage, I think it was a month ago, in Mombasa, on the issue of early childhood development. So it will be a very interesting topic. I just wanted to say that before you sit down, which is going to be hosted by the first spouses. And in the process, you're also going to be giving us dinner. Now, you don't know whether it will be nutrition or dinner. But one of those, we have heard that when we talk of dinner, they talk of nutrition. Asante. Thank you. Or you want to add something else? Okay. Okay, makofi kwao. Before I call the vice chair to invite the chair, please just also allow me once again, on behalf of Busia people, to thank you so much and feel honored to host the LREB 12th Summit in Busia. We want to say that for those who have also organized this summit, which was supposed actually to be in Bungoma, and within a very short notice, Busia had to step in. So I want to thank the team led by my deputy, His Excellency Arthur Odera, and the LREP Secretariat led by the CEO for working overnight to make sure that we are able to meet. Secondly is also to thank the Alupe University fraternity, of course led now by the chair of the council and the vice chancellor, for allowing us to be here on this campus. Ladies and gentlemen, I also again just extend thanks for those who have attended on behalf of LREB and developed this thematic area, which our chair on climate change and environment, Dr. Otichilo, had mentioned. The livelihood of almost 16 million people within the LREB region depends on some of the decisions that we are going to make coming from the deliberations that the thematic groups are going to have. And we have always said, what was the outcome of our last summit and what will be the outcome of this one? Chair, allow me just to say that as Busia, we have already seen and been victims of climate change. We have been having floods in Budalang even sometimes when there is no rain. You just see water coming. There is no rain, but the water is coming. Last year we had almost a whole ward, 40,000 people displaced. Hakuna mvua, so when you tell people that we are having an emergency, they could not understand. I know that emergency at national level is domesticated in the office of the deputy president. And I remember I tried to raise the issue with the national disaster team. And they were saying there are no rains in Busia. But we were having floods. And all the crops were swallowed. And the reason again goes down to what we are saying, that within the Lake Basin, any counties that are part of the Lake Basin ecosystem should be part and parcel of our members, not even just for economic reasons, but for our own livelihoods, because whatever they do upstream affects us here downstream. The other one that we are seeing is different patterns of rainfall that we are exhibiting in our areas. So we are already, even as a Lake Region Economic Bloc and Busia here, we are already victims of this climate change issue. We are trying to see how to go back to what they used to call, like in agriculture, orphaned crops. These were the traditional crops that sometimes were neglected for many years. And we need to get now better ways to produce them. Because our cassavas used to take almost a whole year. I don't think we can afford that anymore. Sugarcane is going to be discussed here taking almost 1.5 years, 18 months. We can't afford that anymore. So we must have science-driven solutions to some of the climate change challenges that we are having so that we are able to be food secure. Lastly, just in our remarks as Busia County, again we are saying the economic activity, if people are not economically empowered, you will find they tend to practice or have habits that are not really environmentally friendly, because they exploit the soft underbelly of the climate, be it in terms of energy, be it in terms of their crop husbandry, animal husbandry, which does not really help. We have been very big victims within the Lake Region Economic Bloc, especially on our blue economy, which is just trying to pick up, when we have got thousands and thousands of deaths actually running into millions of fish. We had it in Kisumu, we have had it in Siaya, Migori, Homa Bay, and Busia here. And when you look at it, they tell us the fish are dying because there is no oxygen in the water. Lack of oxygen automatically tells you these are issues of climate. And you go there and you think that maybe the fishes have been poisoned, which is also true because of environmental contamination. You will find that we are unable to do proper aquaculture, which is one of the main outputs of blue economy. Again, issues of environment. So as we discuss, I'm sure we'll not be talking about abstract issues. We'll be talking about issues whereby we need practical, scientific solutions for us to be able to move on. Lastly, me and my brother Orengo, here of Siaya, we have got the lowest tree cover. I don't know whether it's in Eastern Central Africa or just in Kenya. I think we are less than 1%, almost 0.4%. I think even within the Lake Region Economic Bloc, Siaya and Busia, we have got the lowest tree cover. So even if we talk about doing 10 billion or 15 billion trees, we need proper solutions. Because the other day I saw even the ones that we had planted, when you go, the care, putting the tree in the soil is one thing, but growing it and taking care of it until it becomes a tree, I saw is again a completely different issue. If you look at the percentage of seedlings that we give out that really mature, utapata ni kidogo sana. So those who will be dealing with those thematic areas, I believe Busia and Siaya, we should be in the forefront to see how we can improve. Lastly, please, as it has been said, take advantage of this opportunity to visit this county, which is a frontier county. We call ourselves the gateway to Eastern Central Africa. Please to sample, not just Busia, all the way from Kakapel, those who like stone art. We have got stone art there that runs for more than 5,000 years ago. Very elaborate there, but you'll find people come from Germany, Scandinavia, lakini hawa wa Kenya wajui. Our brother Nyaribo said that this is his first time to come into Busia. So there are Kenyans who don't know Kenya, because if you have not been in Busia, so maona hiyo maneno, we sometimes assume that, but there are people who don't know Kenya, and that's sometimes a problem when you want to build a nation. And a small country like Kenya, like this, we don't sample. We are part of this Western circuit within the Lake Region Economic Bloc. We have got this Western tourism circuit that is a very rich circuit, that you can see the Mara, you can utilize our water sports, you can see what we are doing with cage fish farming, you can do the hills or the mountains. Some people think we don't have mountains, but there are mlimas here also that you can sample. So I want to tell you that those who are around here, please take advantage of that. You can also visit Uganda to eat matoke, and there's some very nice breakfast across the border there. They call it katogo. Some matoke and some groundnuts. Very rich protein food. So I hope it will be part of our nutrition discussions as we do that. Otherwise, karibuni. nyote, and let me now take this opportunity, because we'll have opportunities within the breakaway panels to speak much more. Let me take this opportunity to invite the Vice Chair of the Lake Region Economic Bloc, His Excellency Lusaka, who will also make some opening remarks, and then invite the Chair to do that appertains and that is required to do. Karibu Chair, I hope I have not let you down. I know we are pressed of time, but I had just to do that. You know, these are governments, and if you don't follow protocols, huwezi kusema hii serikali izungumuze na wengine hapana. Karibu Deputy. Makofi kwake. I don't know whether you'll be as brief as what you normally say.
You know me, I'm always very brief. Our chairman, our first spouses, colleague governors, allow me to ride on established protocols. Just like I mentioned yesterday, before I make my brief remarks, let me recognize Owek Joan Machora, who is the Minister of Foreign Affairs from Busia, Uganda. Are you here? Yeah, she was around. I was given the name. Then the British High Commission, also here with us, and Cooperative Bank. They have been our great supporters. This is what I want to say. Now I was just looking at the governors who are here today and those who are not even here. And I realize that if we don't make an impact in this great region, history will never forgive us. Just for information, the chair is a whole professor. I read his works when I was in the Netherlands doing my master's. He has been a minister in medical services and a minister for planning. That's our chair. You as truly who is speaking to you is not a professor, but has a wealth of experience in this country, having served from a DO to a PS to Speaker of the Upper House, the Senate, or served in the Senate already. Dr. Paul Otuoma, who is our host, has been a member of parliament and a minister, member of fisheries and also sports. Dr. Wilbur Otichilo is the guru in climate change, has been a member of parliament serving his second term. Professor Barichoka, whole professor, you know very, you know so much about very little. He's a whole professor serving his second term. Senior counsel Jimmy Orengo, you don't need to introduce him. He has been around for a long time, from those days when I was a DO. Served as senator in the minority and now serving as a governor of Busia. FCPA Barasa, that's not just a title you pick on the road. It's a very serious title. Serving Ketrago, now serving the great county of Kakamega. Of course, Nyaribo, serving a second term, is a man of 9 lives. There have been attempts, but he has survived. Just the way Dr. Mutai of Kericho, you know, also is a man of 9 lives. He went and survived. So why am I mentioning this? That God has given us an opportunity at this particular time to change the lives of our people in this country. I mean in this region. And we have what it takes to do it. Let us just try to translate what we have set for ourselves as the flagship projects. We don't need to do very many, but if we can achieve one, that will be great. And I'm looking at, for example, renewable energy, where if we focus on renewable energy, for example, and we focus on solar, we'll be able to bring down the production of, say, sugar in this country. Like I mentioned yesterday, sugar from Brazil is cheaper in Kenya than our own sugar that we produce because of the cost, the production cost. So if we can implement that, I think we'll achieve a lot. Even in agriculture, the way my colleague has talked about, we look at, you know, the varieties that we are using, cane taking 18 months, and then the farmer is not even paid, and many other things that you do. So that and I know the chairman will be telling us that
the achievements that we have got. And for example, even Lake Victoria. Why would we have a big lake, fresh lake like Lake Victoria, and yet some parts experience drought? They don't have water. How can we harness, how can we use this water so that everybody becomes a beneficiary of the Lake Victoria economic block? As I wind up, I want to disassociate ourselves from. We are here to enjoy and be happy. But we are told those who are free that they are also statements, because we shall only eat matoke and fish and many other things, but we shall not be part and parcel of what was said here. I also want to recognize the office of the First Lady, Mama Rachel. So I want to keep my speech brief, just in case I preempt what you want to say. That will be very dangerous. So on that note, I'd like to invite our chair, Professor Peter Nyang Nyong, a man of great experience, to come and make his remarks and take over the program. Certainly. Much, Ken. I think today you were very brief, but it was long enough to tell us something useful. And I want to thank my fellow governors. Who have spoken this morning here to you, particularly our host. What it should be. We are really grateful. And of course, it goes hand in hand with the theme of this summit, building resilience, food security and climate change. The word that is important there is resilience. And we shall underline it in our speech, the extent to which we have been building resilience in the Lake Region Economic Bloc since we started this organization. Therefore, my fellow governors, we have held our meetings in various member counties on a rotational basis, and I thank the people of Busia County for graciously accepting to host us for this meeting. And since we have arrived yesterday, we are sure that it shows the right place for this 12th summit. An atmosphere that is serene, in an environment that is beautiful, among a people who are welcome. On behalf of the Lake Region Economic Bloc, I wish to extend a warm welcome to our guests and delegates. We are indeed honored to have you set aside your time to be here for this important summit meeting. During the 11th LREP Summit meeting held in Migori County in April last year, we held the sugar debate and explored in detail
what ails the sector. During the debate, most speakers wondered why state-owned sugar millers were on their deathbeds, while privately owned millers were raking in profits year in, year out, and expanding their operations in value addition and product addition in their enterprises. After that summit, we resolved to work with the national government and sugar industry stakeholders to address this issue, and this culminated in the Elred Sugar Conference held in Kakamega County in September last year. The main objective of the conference was to review the progress of implementation of the recommendations of the Sugar Task Force report to enhance the capacity of national and county governments to respond to the challenges facing the sugar value chain. Let me remind you that the Sugar Task Force report was co-chaired by the chairman of the Regional Economic Bloc then, the governor of Kakamega, my dear friend, the governor of Kakamega then. Importantly, stakeholders had to review the report and align it to the bottom-up economic transformation agenda by putting the farmer at the center of the industry's transformation. I am glad to report that following the conference, a lot of ground has been covered. In October last year, the cabinet approved the write-off of 117 billion shillings debts in public sector companies in the region. And I must thank our then chairman of the Regional Economic Bloc, Wycliffe Oparanya, who is now a minister in government, who co-authored that task force report, who has continued to pursue in government this issue. This month, the President signed into law the Sugar Bill 2022 that will address the challenges that have crippled this once vibrant sector that supported many livelihoods. Of course, the pace of action is slow, but at least we are making some progress. The Act will enable the establishment of the Sugar Board, the creation of the Kenya Sugar Research and Training Institute, and the implementation of the Sugar Development Levy in line with our recommendations. Ladies and gentlemen, at the 11th summit, we reviewed our health sector and agreed to establish a Center of Excellence in Healthcare Education and Training project in the Lake region. The project was to be implemented in a hub and spoke model with Kisii University in Kisii County to lead research in non-communicable diseases, Maseno University in Kisumu County will focus on malaria, HIV and AIDS, and sickle cell anemia, while Masinde Muliro University of Science Technology in Kakamega County was to spearhead research on mental health, substance abuse, infectious diseases, and community health. The report for health. Thank you. Egerton University in Nakuru County would then focus on respiratory diseases. We passed a resolution to support the implementation of this program, which after successful implementation would be rolled out throughout Kenya for us to realize universal healthcare, a key pillar of our country's development agenda. I commend the governor of Kisii County Paul Simba Arati, Manchester University, UK, in meeting the President. Again, Cabinet approved this project whose implementation we need to follow up. We also did discuss the issue of sustainable utilization of the blue economy and polytuoma. I've talked about this one. This debate dates back to 2018 during the inaugural Lake Regional Economic Bloc Trade Investment and Blue Economy Conference held in Bomet County. Blue Economy featured in November 2018 and in the 10th summit held in Kisumu County in 2022. Through these engagements, national government agencies, county governments, and development partners have come together to form LRED-BEMA. This action plan, complete with an e-monitoring, evaluation, and learning tool, has made it possible for the technical committee members to monitor projects on blue economy real time. The monitoring tool will be unveiled on 5th December 2025 in Kisumu. I have enumerated these strides we have made as a bloc to underscore the importance of these summit meetings. They are not just rituals. They are what we have done, what to assess the effectiveness and the realization of their goals, while we plan for the way ahead with new or continued projects in the bloc. We do not gather mere